Howdy rowdies, just Andy checking in with you. And this week we're going to be talking about the results of my 1 week test challenge from 607 Beard Care. 607 is owned by a fellow named William Barrows. He lives in upstate New York, and he is an employee in the oil and gas industry, which I thought was kind of interesting. Given, it's always interesting to me how beard owners come into this line of work, how they come to this. Most of the time, it's usually something completely opposite. And here's a guy that has spent a good number of years of his life messing with another type of oil. So anyway, had the Polo Scent beard oil and butter. And here, we're not going to go on and on about the scent. Yeah, okay, here you go. Woodland Elf, Dancing Through the Meadow. There you go. I sniffed the bottle for you. You happy now? You happy? Are you happy? Does this make you feel better? You saw me, and you can actually take a screenshot of me sniffing a bottle? Yeah. Oh, and also, I changed my hat. So, for those inboxes that, you just wear the same hat all the time. All the other guys always wear other hats. Well, there you go. Something new. All right, anyway. So, carrier oils. We've got jojoba. Very common ingredient, and for good reason. Amazing stuff. Conditions, softens, keeps your pores from getting clogged up. Extremely unlikely that anybody will be allergic to it. We got hemp seed, which you doofuses really need to quit going on and on about hemp seed oil. Has nothing to do with marijuana. It's a relative. The two plants are relatives of each other. You're not going to get high off of it no matter what you do with hemp. George Washington did grow it, and they grew it for rope, not to smoke. So hemp seed oil has been called one of the more perfect oils. Avocado oil is the third ingredient. It treats dry skin, prevents a lot of the chandra. What else we got? Sea buckthorn. All right, so this is the first time I have actually used sea buckthorn oil in a beard product, or as far as I know, in any kind of capacity. And I got to tell you, I'm pretty impressed. It moisturizes, it strengthens the hair, and it smooths it out. So, and I'll get to, I'm going to do a little bit of a wrap up when I get through the list. The last one is the argan oil, which repairs damaged follicles, or has the tendency to. All right, so the thing about all carrier oils is most of them contain amino acids. Most of them contain, well, they better contain vitamin and minerals. The common ones are A, C, D, and E. Some companies will add additional E to it, which I've always found kind of interesting, but that's a story for another video. All right, so next we get to the thing that most of you probably clicked on this video to hear me talk about, and that would be the butter. 4 or 5 ingredients in here: shea butter, coconut oil, avocado, and the sea buckthorn again. Except for the great ingredients at the end, which I've already talked about. All these ingredients are fairly common in the industry. The sea buckthorn oil, again, being the outlier. Now, the butter is whipped. It came to me in a completely liquid state, and I honestly did everything that I could do to reconstitute it so that I could show it to you on screen. The melting point of a whipped butter is pretty much a do or die thing. Once it becomes completely liquefied, it's very difficult to get it back together again. That being said, I used it for 7 days in a row. And even with the issues of separation that I dealt with, it was still one of the best performing butters that I've ever put in my beard. I am not one for hyperbole. I am not going to sit here and tell you it's the greatest butter of all time, but I will tell you this. With a little bit of tweaking to get that temperature up, the melting temperature up maybe, and truthfully, I can't really hold him to task for that because of transit. But since it broke apart, I have not been able to get it to really be stable at room temperature, which for me is 68 degrees Celsius. 68 degrees Fahrenheit, my bad. So, all in all, if I'm giving you the straight dope, especially as we're going into the winter time, I would say that the oil and the butter are definitely worth a try. Oil is probably one of the best I've ever used. As far as the absorption time, usually even a good oil will take 20 to 30 minutes to soak into my beard. This one, within about 10-15 minutes, it was completely soaked in. And that's a sign of a very well-balanced, well-made product. The beard butter, even with the consistency issues that I had, I was able to time the oil and butter faster to being absorbed into my beard than any other product I've ever tried. Were it not for the consistency issues, I would probably be putting this a little bit higher. But, and again, I don't care about feel in hand so much as the separation that occurred. I'm still going to tell you, in my opinion, this is an elite company. This is definitely in the 8, 9, 10 range of things. For those of you that have never watched me before, I break companies down into below average, average, above average, and elite. So I'm going to put him at an 8 even. I think with a little bit of tweaking on the butter, he could very easily be a world beater for a non-caster. And for those of you that have followed me, you know that I think you need to get a balance, and no one recipe of oil or one recipe of butter is going to give your beard everything you need. But for a balanced meal for your beard, I got through this in a week and I enjoyed it. Even sweat day was not as bad as sweat day usually is for me, and that's usually a pretty miserable time. So that being said, 607 Beard Care, thumbs up. Mr. Barrows, I appreciate your conversation this week. It's been a hoot, and that's all I got for now. As always, the most important question is, what's in your beard?